Oh. Okay, fuck off. It was already past midnight by the time the closing ceremony concluded and peace once again returned to Odaiba. Aki stood by herself behind the stage, waiting for her producer and the rest of the girls to arrive. Doubtlessly, there were tons of reporters to talk to and staff members to oversee. It was only expected the others would take their time coming back. Aki looked over the empty streets of Odaiba. It was hard to believe that just hours prior, this place was filled with the bodies of a million idol fans. She could still hear their cheers echoing in her head. It had truly been a momentous day. Oh no. She felt a hand grasp her shoulder, but it was not the voice she wanted to hear. I've said before, this game won't let me be happy. And I won't be until something happens to this thing. Yeah. Before she could scream, Oda clasped his hand over her mouth. Did you say Producer Chan? Aki struggled to break free, but her body was too small against a grown man. Oda grabbed her and dragged her away into the darkness. Oh, what's the matter? The pathetic piece of shit doesn't get to exercise their disgusting fantasies. Just as Oda was about to reach into her oh my god. Aki bit into the old man's palms with all her might. She spat the blood from her mouth and screamed with all her might. Before Oda could make another move, he was hit with blinding beams of light from every direction. I rushed out of the scene and took Aki into my arms. Come on, this way. Moments later, Oda was tackled by a squad of security staff and handcuffed against the ground. I hope your hip breaks on the way down. You are a writhing little worm that needs to be stepped on. But his words were completely ignored. Oda snarled when Kamisha walked into the scene. Mm-hmm.
ついさっき理事会が緊急会議を開きました。そして満場一致であなたの株の譲渡および理事会からの除名を決定したんですよ。あなたはもう終わりだ、小田さん。
Oh, allow me to feign shock and sorrow. No, I can't even fake it.
それよりもひどい結末になるでしょう。あなたは逮捕されることになります。
笑わせるな。理事会がわしを訴えるなどありえぬ。 わしがやったことがマスコミの耳に入れば、ゴールデンカーフのアイドル帝国も一瞬で崩壊する。お前らの株券もゴミ同然となるだろ
う。確かにそれは難解でしたが、理事会があなたの性犯罪をごまかす方法を考えましたよ。
Don't like that, but Kamajo pulled out a folder.
うまく隠したようですね。しかし、ここにあなたが長年会社のお金を使い込んだ証拠があります。検察はあなたを複数の企業犯罪で告発する準備をしています。もちろん他の株主が個別で民事訴訟に持ち込むのも時間の問題でしょう。裁判になるとあなたは勾留されることはもうお分かりですか？何？検察がゴールデンカーフが送った詳細を半分ほど処理した頃、あなたはとっくに監獄で死んでいるかもしれませんね。
Oh, no, yeah, no little speech, nothing. No, how dare you, or this won't work, or none of that. All the talk gone. For the first time in his life, Oda's face was locked in an expression of stunned disbelief. After decades of weaseling up the corporate ladder, his sins had finally caught up with him. Technically not all of them, unfortunately. He had thought he was immortal, but this upstart had outmaneuvered him so thoroughly. 2 security staff shoved Oda away into a security van. All the while, Oda merely looked at his shoes, his lips trembling in horror. Once the van sped away, I faced Kamijo with Aki at my side. Kamijo, even though you might have helped us this time, I still can't stand the way you handled this at all. Aki most likely wasn't the only victim of that man's sexual abuse. One of your company's employees was directly responsible for the exploitation of who knows how many young talents, and you're going to cover all that up. Yeah, not happy about that. Kamijo! Praise be the corporation. Oh my god.
犯罪者は監獄で残りの人生を過ごすことになります。その結果にたどり着くまでの過程は何だっていいじゃありませんか。あなたも知っているように、権力者がそうやって犯した罪を償うことも稀でしょう。
Yeah, it's a double-edged sword kind of justice here. Only one of the edges is biting when it really should have come back for a second swing. Bloody both sides of the damn thing.
これはあなたたちにとっても最善な結果と言えましょう。
No, it isn't. We might have worked together this time, but as I thought, you really are the prime evil behind everything. One day, Golden Calf will pay for its crimes.
もっとひどいことを言われたこともありますよ。協力関係はここまでのようですね。プロデューサーさん。
I wonder. Oh, I'm sorry, did I interrupt you? I wonder if that's what Sasame's route is going to end up involving. Kamijo, one day you'll follow Oda down to hell. Until then, I'll be here to make your life difficult. Yeah. Farewell, evil shields. With that, the two of us went our opposite directions. Come on, Aki. Let's get out of here. Before we could leave, though, Kamijo turned around and faced me one last time.
小田の犯罪痕跡を探している途中にちょっと面白いことを見つけました。柏木亜希がゴールデンカーフから退職した後すぐ、小田は柏木由美子に結構な額を送金したようです。おそらくは娘にやったことを黙っているようにという口止め料でしょう。
Of course.
柏木由美子の小田に対する証言は検察にとってもありがたいものでしょう。小田の起訴に協力すれば減刑も可能かもしれません。
You
では次の戦いまでプロデューサーさん。
Right. With that, he walked off with the security detail, leaving me alone with Aki. I shook my head. That bastard just had to have the last word. Regardless of whether he tried to help at the last second or not, he was still my enemy. There was no doubt about it. Once I was sure that he had left, I finally relaxed and checked over Aki. I rushed over with help as soon as I heard you, but I was scared we were too late. Are you hurt anywhere? Producer! She wrapped her arms around me. Leaving me alone like that, I thought I was gonna die, you know? I knelt down and stroked the back of her head. Sorry. Don't worry. That man's gone for good now. He's in a rotten jail where he won't be able to hurt you or anyone else ever again. Before I knew it, the other girls rushed to Aki's side as well. Aki-chan! Aki! That was close. Everyone? Sasami held onto Aki, tears streaming from her eyes. We all ran over as soon as we heard you screaming, but by then the golden cap people were already everywhere. Did that pervert touch you anywhere? You're not hurt, are you? Oh. No. Luckily, producer and the golden calf staff came right away to stop him. Thank goodness. Seriously, I nearly had a heart attack. No. Oh, it's really unbelievable. I can't believe there are disgusting people like that Gramps who would try to force himself onto a girl like that. This is why those golden cap people are scum. Good things we're not talents there. Screw them all. Indeed. Shall I forward the details of this incident with Hara and Hassan's associates to get them in trouble? In spite of everything, Aki swallowed her tears and put on a brave face for the girls. Everyone, it's alright. I'm through with dealing with those golden calf people. We all left behind that messed up place to come here together. Let's all head together. All head together to our new future as Novas. I'm all right. There's no way to let that scum scare me. The girls looked at their center with relief. You got that right. As a former Quasar, I couldn't agree with you more. I don't have a single regret at leaving that place behind. As expected, Shining Productions is where it's all at. I could not imagine working anywhere else. Because nowhere else would take you, Pat Pat. Well, I suppose it's not that bad here. Oh, hush. Indeed, this is a place we all came together as one. Everyone, Aki-chan's got the right idea. I want to give that Kamijo a good punch in the face one day myself. Until then, though, let's all do our best to prove those bastards wrong. Oh! Ellipses. And so, Starnova's second Idol Grand Prix finally ended. Oda had finally been defeated, but the other great villain of the story was still out there, no doubt planning his next move. As long as Kamijo remained in control of Golden Calf, I knew he would continue to be the great oppressor of idols everywhere. And as I stared up at the night sky, I resolved to myself that one day I would surpass him. Did you learn nothing? Nothing of Aki's tribulation, you fool! It's during one of the evening. The very next month, the girls appeared on the glittering stage of Tokyo Dome. I looked on with pride as they dominated the greatest venue in town, now the very image of top idols. What was I saying? By now, the girls of Starnova really were top idols. The fans sang along with them, their voices intermixed, afloat in a sea of waving glow sticks. At the conclusion of their first song of the night, Aki walked to the center of the diamond and outstretched her hand to the sky. Oh, I got this shot again. Everyone, thank you so very much. With your support, we finally reached it. It's Tokyo Dome! The 100,000 fans before them howled their passion, their glow sticks raised on high. I'm not reading that. There you go. From above in the control box, I saw Aki's sparkling face in the projection screen. The beautiful, determined center of Starnova. And the woman I loved with all my heart. Warmth filled me as I remembered all the steps we had walked together in this journey. Oh, he has some somber piano in the background. I'm always a sucker for piano tracks like this. When we first met, I thought she was merely a shit lolly, a two-faced, burned-out ex-child idol, a loud mouth who was prone to temper tantrums, the problem child of the unit. But as I got to know her, I found out she was the most determined out of all the girls to take Starnova to this grand stage. She had been painfully aware the world was an unfair place. She had been born with nothing but her own abilities. Abilities which only led to her being exploited by everyone around her. Her constant badgering of the others to work harder had only been her way of preparing them for the hardships she encountered firsthand as a child idol. And what hardships they were. When she should have been in elementary school, she had entered the harsh corporate world, capable of breaking even the spirits of grown men. Her very producer had tried to exploit her, and she had been sold out by her very mother. An unbelievable story. But in the end, she'd survived. Against impossible odds, she now stood here before all of Tokyo, the shining angel of hope. Aki, our beautiful, magnificent Aki, center of Starnova. No matter what happened, no matter how this story continued, I would stand by her side, her helper, her supporter. In the end, I knew that I was nothing compared to her. Now I was just a stupid salaryman trying my best to hype up a girl far greater than myself. Solely from the strength of her convictions, the heroine of this tale had found her own reason for existing in this filthy, corrupt society. Indeed, the protagonist of this story had been Aki all along. It's time for our second song! Let's go! Our Rebirth! I raised my fist in triumph as the audience cheered. Go get them, Aki. Sometime after the live, Aki and I spoke on a secluded bridge. Eh? Yeah? Sorry. Yeah?
最近ずっと考えてるのはアイドルの仕事がどんなに好きなのか。
I mean, yeah, I think the fact that you found the right, place to do it in, the right people to be with, definitely has had an impact on that, which is good.
ごめんね、プロデューサー。でも、卒業して付き合うまでまだできそうにないわ。
ね。
アイドルとしてやりたいことが残ってるし、まだ諦めるのは早すぎるわ。でも、あなたのことが好きじゃないってわけじゃないよ。わがまま言ってるのはわかるけど、でも、言いたいのは、もう少しだけ待っていてくれる？
I faced Aki with nothing but a smile on my face. Aki, there's no reason for me to wait. Because I'll be here, by your side, producing you no matter what. Don't worry, you still got an amazing idol career ahead of you. I can already see it. I'll be here doing my best to make all your dreams come true. Aki looked at me, barely holding her emotions back. She had promised herself that she would look at me as nothing more than a producer for now. Not until she decided she had had enough and finally stepped down as an idol. Until then, she had to wait. Ellipses. Before we knew it, an entire year had already passed. As I spoke now, the Idol Grand Prix of 2019 was taking place. However, that wasn't where we were at. Aki and the rest of the girls walked through the hospital dressed in the uniforms, bringing their cheer to the patients in this usually dreary place. All the other idols in town were at Odaiba doing their best to win the approval of the masses. Aki and the rest of the girls had decided to volunteer their day entertaining patients in the long-term care unit at the hospitals instead. Aww. When asked by a reporter why she had wasted such a pivotal opportunity to finally take the first place prize at the Grand Prix, Aki merely shrugged. I'm sorry, but that's only a trophy. I decided what's more important to me when I participated in the Grand Prix last year. The patients here at the hospital can't go out to Odaiba to see the idols performing. I think that's truly a sad thing, so that's why I decided that Starnova should come here instead. Isn't that what an idol's supposed to do? Bring hope to the people who are weak, to those who are most unfortunate? I smiled as Aki continued to speak with the reporter. Meanwhile, I kept abreast of what was happening at the Grand Prix on my cell. As expected, Quasar was once again this year's victor, but change was on the horizon. With your continued support, Quasar has once again reigned supreme at the Idol Grand Prix of 2019. I was just 13 years old when I joined the general membership of Quasar. Now, over a decade later, I have an important announcement to make. Before the end of this year, I, Okuda Shiro, will graduate from Quasar. The audience reacted with shock. Men broke down in tears. It has been an incredible journey. As of today, Kaori-chan will act as the new center of Quasar. Huh. The era of Okuda Shiro is past, and now Quasar shall enter a new era. An era led by Nita Kaori. With that, Kaori stepped up beside Shiro. Everyone, Shiro-senpai, thank you for having brought us all this far. Please, keep supporting Quasar from now on. I chuckled as the girl nervously continued her acceptance speech. From what I heard about Kaori-chan, she was a genuinely good girl who had worked her way up the ranks of Quasar through winning the love of her friends and fans alike. Quasar had not had such a pure center since Kihare Kana of years past. Honestly, I was a little surprised the man behind Quasar allowed such a thing to happen. Well, for now, I was going to reserve judgment. Given Quasar's ranking system, Kaori-chan could quickly fall from grace and be replaced in a blink of an eye. Who knew what that man was secretly plotting behind the scenes? No matter what, there was no way I was going to trust that guy. The months passed and the leaves turned red for autumn. With the passing of the seasons came Maria's decision to graduate from Starnova. She'd been offered a prestigious job as the host of a well-respected talk show, Tanaka-san's Golden Hour. Well, I suppose from now it was going to be called Maria-san's Golden Hour. Given her age, it's only natural that she would move on to a more serious line of work. Perhaps seeing her former teammate Okuda Shiro graduate had reminded Maria that she too had to start thinking of her life after being an idol. The girls of Starnova had a beautiful graduation live, once again at the greatest venue in town. And once again, all of Tokyo gathered at the Dome to give Maria the grand send-off she deserved after all her years of being an idol. Tokyo, thank you very much! Afterwards, the years passed, and this time Nemo decided it was time for her to graduate as well. A managerial position had opened up at Haruna-san's television station, and Nemo wished to eventually train to become a businesswoman like her foster mother. A few months later, Mika decided to graduate to focus on her career as an actress as well. Huh. Her performance in Black Opera, the motion picture, had been a hit with both otaku and general audiences throughout the country. Considering this was her big chance to become a big-name actress, she left Starnova with everyone's best wishes. One day, Natan decided that she too had enough of being an idol. She returned back to her hometown and took on a post at the local tourism office to help promote the countryside. And so, as the months passed, each of the girls moved on to greater things. With only 3 of the members remaining, the girls decided it was time to disband the unit. By then, all of them had promising careers ahead of them. Julie planned on continuing in the entertainment business as a model and solo singer. Sasami decided to leave the public arena and instead went on to college and lived the rest of her life as a private citizen. The trio's graduation live was a truly wondrous event. It was the culmination of everything they had accomplished together, but it was not their end. It needed the completion of one chapter and the beginning of the next. Starnova was no more. But everyone's memories of their shining time as the greatest idols on the planet would never vanish. Oh. Are we going to end with an onsen? And so, that brought us to today. I relaxed as I unwound in the onsen pool. Indeed, after no less than 5 years of hard work and service to Shining Productions, this producer had finally earned his first vacation in such a long time. It had been a long journey, and at times I had worked so much. Especially no thanks to that Julie. She was such a handful in her later years. I swear at times I had to hold myself back from getting a voodoo doll with long blonde hair because of her antics. Ooh, how I longed to stick some long needles into that doll before I went to sleep at night. I bet she was in Tokyo right now, laughing about how lame I was to a bunch of young suits at a bar. Meanwhile, Julie was suddenly struck with an unexpected case of the sniffles. That's true. See? I was running the money. She really was at a bar right now, wasn't she? Okay, that's some meta shit. In any matter, after years of serving as Starnova's producer, I had earned some time off from work. At least before the start of Shining Productions' next big idol project. Come next spring, I was going to be producing a bunch of male idols fresh out of high school. In my naivete, I was looking forward to the fact that boys would most likely be easier to manage than girls. Oh, how wrong I was going to be proven in the coming years. What's the name of the unit? I want to know. While Starnova was now behind me, there were countless other idol units to create. After all, that was the life of a producer. And it wasn't all bad. After all, I could hardly complain what with my beautiful girlfriend Kashiwagi Aki leaning back to back against me in this pool as I spoke right now. Bare naked. What? Nothing, my love. Merely reminiscing and looking forward to the future. Really? Other days than idle were behind her, we had finally been able to get serious about our relationship. While working with her every day as a producer was plenty of fun, I could get used to this kind of thing. I leaned against her and looked into the starry skies. Man, really was a lot of work, huh? You got that right. We really did almost end up working until we died. Seriously, you really overdid it. What kind of crazy idol story did the main heroine die of for work? If something like that happened, all the fans would have been angry, you know? Would have been nuts. But it looks like Oni-chan managed to bolt through to the end. No, stop that. No. Aki was a real Shining Emoto idol, you know, to the very end. And so, Aki's happy days in retirement began. And the color tone shifted so quickly. Thanks to her great success while she was an idol, she had already saved up a considerable amount of money. More than enough to graduate and guarantee her a comfortable life regardless of what she chose to do from now. And of course, I was going to continue to work for Shining Productions too. Even though my idol adventures were only just beginning, Aki's life gradually became more uneventful. In fact, you could say she gradually disappeared from public view. But that wasn't to say this is where the end of her story either. Like I said, life had no ending point, where the protagonist sailed off into the sunset, leaving the audience to just presume they live happily ever after. The next chapter of Aki's life was merely beginning. Her time as a wife and mother. Aw. It was a beautiful day when Aki and I were happily married. Of course, all the girls reunited for the occasion, along with all their friends and families too. Hey, look, she didn't bring a knife this time. I faced everyone with a smile. By now, many years had passed since I first met the 7 girls Starnova. It seemed like a faraway time when we were all young, struggling performers trying to make it in the big world. Now that we were all grown-ups, we can look back and wonder just how we had mustered the courage to survive those tough times. The star of the occasion stepped forward and spoke to her old friends. Aki smiled gently as she touched her belly. I have a feeling as long as you've learned from the mistakes of the past, you absolutely will. There you go. While almost everyone had appeared for this occasion, our wedding was missing perhaps the most important guest. Yumiko Kashiwagi had been released from jail 3 years prior, but had never faced her daughter since then. She instead chose to retire to her parents' farm up in Sapporo and live out the rest of her life in quiet solitude. Perhaps she believed the best thing she could do for Aki was to take her toxic influence as far away as possible. Or perhaps she was too embarrassed to face her successful daughter again after suffering through the humiliation of criminal prosecution. Aki herself seemed to be in no particular hurry to mend bridges with her mother. In fact, the fact her mother was missing from her wedding didn't seem to ruffle her feathers at all. However, I still wish that one day mother and daughter could be reunited. One day, some years later, the opportunity finally came. Out of the blue, I finally asked her. I had some time off from work. Why don't we travel north and visit her grandparents? After all, our son was now 3 years old. It was long overdue that our family finally paid our respects to her extended family. She just said, I suppose so. In fact, getting her approval had been so easy that I kicked myself for not having asked earlier. All these years, I feared that Aki still harbored resentment towards her mother. Her feelings towards that woman were far more complex than that. But now, years after she last spoke to her, the embers of her hate had long since cooled. In any matter, now that Aki was a married woman, it wasn't like her mother had any control over her. What did she have to lose by seeing her just once? And so, the three of us took a car trip to Hokkaido. We finally arrived at her grandparents' address and got out the car. A winding walkway up a hill greeted us. I walked up the narrow road alongside Aki, my son on my shoulders. Aki looked down at her feet. Giving her heart, I clasped our hands together. Just further it would be. We reached the peak and saw the marvelous, glittering ocean stretching out before us. But more importantly, Aki gasped and clasped her hands over her mouth. It was her. Her face had wrinkled a bit more with the passage of time. Strands of gray had begun to appear at the top of her head. But the woman standing before us was undoubtedly Kashiwagi Yumiko. She looked at Aki wordlessly. Aki too looked back silently. There was no need for words. From the look on their faces, it was obvious. They had missed each other dearly. Tears welled up in Yumiko's eyes as she looked at her daughter with motherly pride. Yes, just as Aki had said all those years ago, despite her daughter had become great. I put my boy down and let Aki wrap her arms around him. She swallowed her tears for a child and looked straight on ahead with a wide smile. She raised her hand toward the aging woman before her and finally said it. There was not a trace of shame in her voice. Aki spoke with nothing but pride.
しんちゃん、あの人は私のママよ。
That was some straight up Return of the King level shit. I appreciate the closure, but I mean, it did drag on a little bit. That's... Oh. But there were a lot of ends to tie up, and I'm glad they did tie it up. We got to hear about what happened to the rest of the team, and got some real final closure with Aki and her mother there. So yeah, that's... Wow. This video, well, this recording is going to end up being multiple videos probably, because I just kept going. I don't know where I'm going to cut it. Well, probably at the credits after the Grand Prix performance. But in any case, thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and well, now I have to figure out what route I want to do next. I'm really not sure. So I'll give it some thought, and I'll see you then. And in the meantime, like I said, I hope you enjoyed Aki's route. Oh, it was an emotional roller coaster. Oh boy. That's gonna make deciding on which route to go next just that much harder, because it's like, what are we gonna go through? But we'll find out then.